do or expect it. Deacon, congregation, if you'd be so kind, turn to Malachi, the 3rd chapter. And the 8th verse beginning says what?
Will a man rob God?
Will a man rob God? What's it say?
Yet ye have robbed me.
Yet ye have robbed me. But what?
But ye say, wherein have we robbed thee?
But ye say, where have we robbed you at? And what?
In tithes and offerings.
Everyone asks this question. Everyone asks this question together. Am I robbing God? Everybody together. Am I robbing God? Webster Dictionary defines tithes as a 10th part paid or given, especially in support of a church. And offerings, as defined by the Webster Dictionary, is a sacrifice, something that is sacrificed, declaring of one's readiness, meaning being willing to do something, and something presented for acceptance. Something presented for acceptance. Again, the definition of tithes is a 10th part paid or given especially for the support of a church. So the question was asked, will a man rob God? Yet ye have robbed me. But ye say what?
Wherein have we robbed thee?
Wherein have we robbed thee? And what?
In tithes and offerings.
And tithes and. It didn't just say tithing. It said in tithes and offerings. Turn with me to Genesis, the 4th chapter. And tithes and offerings. Tithe is a 10th part paid or given, especially for the support of a church. Offerings is a sacrifice of something or declaring of one's readiness or willingness to do, or something presented for acceptance. Genesis, the 4th chapter, begin right there at the 1st verse. It says what?
And Adam knew his wife Eve.
And Adam knew his wife.
Eve, his wife.
And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and what?
And she conceived.
And
bare Cain and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. Excuse me.
Now, brother man, you have no business knowing that sister unless she's your wife.
True.
And sister lady, you have no business knowing Mr. Man unless he's your husband. And Adam did what?
And Adam knew Eve, his wife.
And Adam knew Eve, his girlfriend?
His wife.
And Adam knew Eve, his longtime honey child.
His wife.
And Adam knew Eve, his babe.
His wife.
And Adam knew Eve, his booby. It said, and Adam knew Eve, his wife. From the beginning, God had it straight. And Adam knew Eve, his wife. All right, now that we got that straight, we can go on. So they conceived a child. Called his name Cain. 2nd verse said what?
And she again bare his brother Abel.
she again bared another child and called his name Abel. And what?
And Abel was a keeper of sheep.
Abel was a keeper of the sheep, but Cain did what?
But Cain was a tiller of the ground.
Cain was a tiller of the ground. And what?
And in the process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord.
So Cain willingly decided within his heart that, you know what, I want to give to God. Willingly. Nobody forced it upon Cain. He willingly decided, you know what, I want to give to God. And what did it say?
And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof.
So Abel said, well, I'm going to go ahead and give also. And what happened?
And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering.
Now Cain had given, Abel had given, and it said, and Abel, he also brought up the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof, and the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering. And what?
But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect.
He had not respect for Cain's. And what?
And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell.
Now the definition of firstlings, which is what Abel had brought of his firstlings, the definition of firstlings is one that comes or is produced first. One that comes or is produced first, not secondhand. Abel didn't give the second, or Abel didn't give the third or the fourth. Abel took the first round that was produced. The first of his increase, Abel took that and gave it to God. And as it said, and the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering, but unto Cain and to his offering, he had what?
He had not respect.
He didn't have no respect. So what happened to Cain?
And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell.
His countenance fell. Everyone asks that question again. Am I robbing God? Am I robbing God? 6th verse says what?
And the Lord said unto Cain,
and the Lord said unto Cain, what?
Why art thou wroth?
Why are you upset for, Cain? And what?
And why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door.
Sin lieth at the door. And what?
And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him.
So God told Cain that if he did well, don't you think that I'll accept this? But who knows exactly how much Cain gave? Cain, as it said, was a tiller of the ground. So let's say, for example, Cain had 2,000 stalks of corn. And out of that 2,000 stalks of corn, he just gave God one kernel of corn. Read 7 again. What's it say?
If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou dost not well, sin lieth at the door. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him.
So if you did well, Cain, don't you think that your offering would be accepted? But if you don't do well, what's at the door?
Sin lieth at the door.
Sin lieth at the door. So he could have had 2,000 stalks, but only gave one kernel, just a little bit. Then that's not much of a sacrifice. Let's say, for example, all of you all make $500 a week.